What's up, guys? GP here, back with another episode. And today's episode is actually a lot different than a lot of the previous episodes that I've done here recently. Today's episode will be really a way to help some of you guys out there. This video is for budding cannabis entrepreneurs, those of you who want to make cannabis media kind of how I do in the review lane. For those of you who want to even get into writing, into making videos, into making any type of some photo stuff, just how to make content in the cannabis lane. I know many of you guys don't know where to start, don't know what apps to go with, don't know what terminology to use on those apps, don't know how often you need to be posting on those apps, and don't really know where the word I like to use is hangouts are for the cannabis community. So I hope over a course of a series of videos that I can kind of help guide you guys on how to make cannabis media. And I am by no means a genius in this field, but I am somebody who's been at it hard daily for over 2 years now, and I've had some success. Just to kind of edify myself with you guys, just in case it's the first time you've watched me, you're like, why am I listening to this guy teaching me about how to do cannabis media? Well, I have almost 15K on TikTok, 11 on Instagram. I have multiple YouTube channels, which across them, probably like 15K, so not huge, but still a decent following. Some following on Twitter, small. Some following on LinkedIn, also small. But I've done a lot of testing across all these apps, and I know some strategies and know some things that can help people grow. And this is also an opportunity for me to grow. This is an opportunity for me to read the comments and learn from you guys on some strategies that you're using, because I feel like we're all in this together. We're trying to create cannabis media opportunity even here online and things like that, and I feel like I have a lot of good knowledge that I can pass on to you guys, and I also feel like a lot of you probably have a lot of good knowledge that you can reciprocate or pass back to me. But today I'm going to do 5 tips. That'll be 5 tips on how to better create cannabis content. I even have them written down. Guys, this is a big deal for me. I don't write down episodes. Y'all see how many episodes I've put out, and I've pretty much just freely done all of them, you know? One take GP, they call me. Nobody calls me that. But either way, guys, I feel like these 5 tips will help you grow your cannabis social media following, cannabis social media outreach. And I feel like if you follow these 5 things, basically, you can get a basic understanding of many apps and kind of decide which one will work for you, because a lot of this will be up to you, up to your demographic, up to who you're trying to reach. But there's also going to be some universal things that I feel like everybody will be able to use. But first, let's roll up. I don't have a platform in front of me. Nicole has this thing that you write on, so I'm putting it on my lap here. Got the rolling tray in my lap. Roll this bad boy up right quick. I got some skunk and a little bit of Blue Dream in the grinder already. I'm gonna throw that into some of these Marley papers today. Switched it up. Went to a smoke shop yesterday that was next to a taco shop. There's a taco shop by me that has some Caribbean jerk, not fajitas, not enchiladas. Fuck, what is that shit called? Caribbean jerk quesadillas. They have some Caribbean jerk quesadillas that were crazy, but there was a smoke shop next door. I was about out of papers, so for this round, I am going to have some Marleys. I'm not gonna roll up a whole bunch, because I am gonna spend a good amount of time talking this episode, which I always do, but a lot of time trying to give you guys information. I have a lot of ideas in my head, and if I smoke a little bit too much, then sometimes I'll forget said ideas. Tip number 1, learn your terminology. And so this terminology, it encompasses everything. Terminology, I have it written down right here. So if I'm looking over there, terminology includes titles, it includes hashtags, it includes keywords, it includes overlays, it includes all of these things. And one day, if you guys want, I'll do episode kind of breaking down these things, because every app is different. YouTube allows different titles than what Instagram allows as captions, then what TikTok allows is like overlay writing, which is different from what LinkedIn and Twitter allow. All apps have their own set of rules, but it's very important when you're attacking each app, when you're trying to make media on each app, and when you're trying to make custom medium for each app, which we'll get to later, that you really know the terminology that's allowed, or else you're going to spend a lot of times, which I have, you're going to spend a lot of time, making a lot of content that's going to get banned or taken off, and that's what's so discouraging. It's so discouraging to create a piece of content, spend 30, 45 minutes on it, if not more, but even for a TikTok, an Instagram post or something like that, spend a lot of time, and then Instagram and TikTok either shadow ban it because it has terminology they don't like, or simply ban it and either ban your account on Instagram or ban the post on TikTok, and you just sat there and wasted so much time. So guys, something that's very, very important for you is to learn the acceptable terminology on the app and to really utilize that terminology. Of course, when it comes to keywords for SEO and what tags to use and stuff like that, that also is very important, but those aren't things that'll destroy your content. Those will kind of just be things that can help take your content from one level to the next level. So the first tip, guys, know your terminology. Found a lighter. Tip number 2, grow with what you know. And I actually didn't mean for that tip to rhyme like that. I put it on the paper and I realized it rhymed, but grow with what you know. And there's 2 sides to this. So the first side is growing with what you know in terms of flour, concentrates, whatever, how to make media like this, papers, blunts. Like if there's something that you're super passionate about in cannabis and it's something that you can talk about often, interview people about often, make a lot of different funny things about it often, really attack those things, because go with what you know in the cannabis space, because a lot of people have their different specialties or their different just preferred methods of cannabis, and therefore it's the easiest way to just try to brainstorm as many ideas within the realm of your expertise. But on the other side of this, you can also take the time to learn something new in the cannabis space. Do the research about terpenes, do the research about glass if you're always a blunt smoker, do the research about vapes if you're always a joint smoker. You know what I mean? So always figure out ways to make it creative. So whether it's something that you already know or something that you've already mastered or something that you're already familiar with, or on the other side, it's something that you're completely unfamiliar with and you're learning with the people that are watching your content. And this is something that goes for all content, but specifically for cannabis content, I would suggest at the beginning really focus on what you know, and then as you feel you're starting to plateau with the things that you know, or your company's expertise or your personal expertise or the expertise within the people that are usually on your channel, then start doing the research and show people the research. Show people what you find and see if other people agree. Because at the end of the day, in this whole entire cannabis space, so many things, or pretty much everything, is experimental. Because we're in such a new market, in such a new space, everything is brand new. New ideas are being transferred all the time. New ways of smoking, new ways of intaking cannabis just in general. So in this whole entire space, my tip to you is definitely grow with what you know, but be willing to expand and learn something on the complete 180 from what you already know. And that's a way to even expand what you know and share the learning process with whoever's watching your content. That's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is to create app-specific content. This tip goes beyond cannabis media. This tip goes for all media, but make sure that you're making app-specific content. What people want to see on LinkedIn is different from what people want to see on Instagram, which can be somewhat different from what people want to see on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter. They're all different mediums, so study each medium and make content for each medium. But at the same time, at the exact same time, reuse content. So you will notice that a lot of my YouTube videos, I'll clip them down and make them into Instagram videos. But when I make them into the Instagram video, I add text overlay on them. I put it on one person's face, so it's like I'm just talking to the person, or I'm just talking to the person on Instagram or whatever. Or Sergio's just talking to him, or who else is on the channel is talking one-on-one with the person, because people like that better than on Instagram, better than they like it on YouTube. On TikTok, things have to happen fast. So on YouTube, I could have an intro and talk to people, but on TikTok, things need to happen immediately. So I can clip a piece from YouTube then it goes immediately into that. But then I also have to make sure that if I'm on TikTok, I really want vertical video, because I want to take up the full screen, because that's what's most visually appealing and that's what makes it look the most organic to the app. So it's a lot of things to think about, but it is very important to reuse content so you're not wasting time. And because people that follow you on YouTube don't follow you on Twitter necessarily. People that follow you on Twitter aren't on your TikTok, or people who are on your TikTok have never seen one of my three YouTube channels. So reusing content is very, very important, but it's very important to cater that content and make that content for that specific app, that specific platform that you're posting on. So that would be tip number 3, is to make your content very specific to the app, but still reuse content app to app. But just make sure you're doing it the right way. And I can go into it. If you guys have questions, please reach out. We can talk about ways that I can help you guys, or you can put in the comments any questions that you have as well. I'll try to get to them. But it is very important to make app-specific content, but it's also important, like I've said before, and like I'll continue to reiterate, to recycle content in order to best maximize the time that you've already put in. You already created the content, so you might as well try to maximize how many eyes can see that content versus trying to hide it from people, for the sake of maybe somebody calling you out for it being on multiple platforms. That's crazy. Just have as many people see it as possible. I ideally would want somebody to see a video on YouTube twice and complain to me they saw it twice. That means my algorithm plans are working and stuff like that, So creating app-specific content, but reuse that shit. Number 4, and this is, I think, very crucial to cannabis content, is to collab with other people, whether that be in person or virtually. Ideally in person. I truly believe that smoking is a social event. That's why I like even personally getting on live and smoking with people and stuff, because I'm usually here alone making videos, editing, doing all this stuff solo. But I feel like cannabis specifically is a community thing, and it just looks better on screen, on screen, to have somebody else talking to you and giving people the feel of the social environment that I feel like smoking cannabis is and historically has been. At the end of the day, if you're talking about especially recreational products and stuff like that, weed it's a very social substance. It's something that really brings people together, makes people want to talk to each other. So that's a good thing, regardless of what type of content you're making, to incorporate sometimes that back and forth thought stimulation that a lot of times weed can help stimulate. Sorry, this J keeps going out. I sit right under the vent. I had to go turn the air up because it was hot as fuck in here. But now it's pouring right onto the J, and it's gonna keep going out because I'm gonna keep talking. Before I get to point number 5 or tip number 5, if you guys like this type of content, if you want to learn more about how to create good content from app to app, because I've been now successful on 3 to 4 of the apps, 3 to 4 different apps. If you want to learn some success or how to grow better as a cannabis brand on these apps, please comment below. Let me know that I should keep creating content like this. I do create content for myself, but at the same time, if it's a subject that nobody's interested in, I won't keep creating content about it. But if this is something that you guys really would want to learn, and this could help your small business, this could help you personally, then I'd love to keep doing it. Tip number 5, and I think tip number 5 really is the most important tip when it comes to the cannabis community, to cannabis content, is in some way giving back. And I'm not saying necessarily even giveaways or anything like that, but what I am saying is giving back somehow, giving back to the cannabis community somehow. Even a video like this, for me to be straightforward with you guys, is a way for me to give back. You know, this is a way that I can help some smaller businesses who can't afford services even like I could give. You know, some people really have no extra marketing budget. I ran a lot of experiments with our Legally Lifted brand that we had before, the Delta 8 brand, and I saw a lot of different struggles and hiccups. I've worked at a CBD shop. You know, I've spent a lot of time behind the counter. I've been to the trade shows. I've done the online marketing. I've done all that stuff in the cannabis space, and I understand a lot of the hiccups and issues that come along with that. But I believe that by having a strong social media presence, that's the best way that you can naturally, organically make a word for yourself in the cannabis space, but also show your peers, show your grandma that's watching your Facebook, show your aunts and uncles and stuff like that, that the cannabis market is here, it is upon us, and it's not something to be afraid of. But when I say giving back, I just mean like even giving back that information, getting out into the community. And like I was saying, again, this was a big way of my giving back, is to help small businesses know how to make content for themselves, because a lot of the small businesses, I understand, don't have the budget to hire creators, don't have the budget to hire affiliates, even don't have the budget to give away products. And if that's the case, you have to create content yourself, and that's the only way to grow. And I feel like I've done enough of that to where I can give you guys some insight on how to best do that. But yeah, that rounds out my list of 5. And the last thing is to give back in some way, provide some value to people, even if that's community, even if that's laughter, even if that's a positive vibe. Give back. Don't just take from the community. Don't try to take money. Don't try to just get rich out of it. Don't try to peddle out bad product and try to capitalize off people. Those are things that hurt the community. So if you're going to make content about the community, if you're going to be in the cannabis lane, in the cannabis community, I really urge you guys to just give back into whatever community you can and help the cannabis community grow. Because as the cannabis community grows, all of us that are within the cannabis community will be benefited. You know, it's an industry that isn't on the complete mainstream yet, and when it gets to that mainstream, there'll be more money for everybody to make. You know, there'll be more space for me to market, there'll be more space for your shop to sell more products, there'll be more space for more advertising slots and sports and online and stuff like that. So guys, there's a lot of possibilities in the cannabis lane, but I feel like we all need to play our part to help move it forward. And by helping some of your small businesses and helping you guys talk about cannabis online more, I hope that I can do my small part in just helping this industry move forward. I've been talking a lot. I need to take a quick smoke break. Shit. I've been giving you guys too much good free information. But to go back over the list, guys, these first 5 steps to figuring out or your cannabis content creation strategy or whatever, you got to learn the terminology no matter what app or platform you're on. Grow with what you know or learn everything you don't. Make app-specific content, but also reuse content app to app, but just make sure it's what appeals most to the people on that platform. Collab with other people, whether that's in person or online. Make your cannabis community feel like a community, because people like smoking in a community. And number 5, give back in some way. Give back to that community. Find a way to make that community laugh, to make that community happy, to make that community feel more like a community, because as cannabis users, a lot of times people are ostracized. Even like we just saw with the Olympic runner. Even though she broke the rules or whatever, she's ostracized within her community for using weed, and that's fucked up. So whatever we can do to normalize it and to help people like us, I think we should. Guys, I definitely appreciate you tuning in for another episode. I hope these 5 steps help you create better cannabis content. If it does, please leave a like, please subscribe. I'm going to continue to make these videos if they help people. I'm going to continue to try to help people make better cannabis content, because it's something I'm passionate about. It's something I know some other people out there are passionate about. And I hope these 5 steps help you. See you guys next time.